Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.
Good evening, I'm Rich Mancuso, live on my YouTube channel. This is Keep It in the Ring, live as always, Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. It is June 5th, 2025. Happy birthday, my brother Bob. Turned a big 70 today. All the best to you, my best friend and my great brother. And we have a great hour ahead for you on the program. I bring Tommy D in from JD Sports Talk, my esteemed colleague, and also has become a co-host with me on this program each and every week. And thanks again, Tom, for filling me in last week. You guys got on my case, you and Robbie Rebel, but I'm here, and I forgive you both. About Robbie Rebel won't be with us tonight in the wrestling segment. We'll have plenty of that in the second hour. And we're also going to get this boxing talk going because there's an awful lot of it. A lot of breaking news today as well. Fights to come. We're going to review the fights, of course. My social media at the bottom of the screen. XRing786, Facebook.com, Rich Mancuso. Reach me there. Like, comment, subscribe to my YouTube channel here, Rich Mancuso. Facebook, Keep It in the Ring page. Like that. Read my content on LatinoSports.com. We're live on my YouTube channel, String Punk Entertainment, AGT Network, Facebook, wherever you can get us. It's Keep It in the Ring. Let's get to it. All right, this week, Teofimo Lopez, we'll talk about the drama that continues with him. He's the new Ryan Garcia, no doubt about it. Plant Charlo, that fight now on pause. We'll get to that. The latest Canelo Alvarez, Terence Crawford update. Boxing ready for a busy July. We'll go over that as well, plus a busy weekend ahead in this sport. No more RTruth in the WWE. WWE talent moving on. We'll talk about that and more to come. Money in the Bank preview with Tommy D and I will do that. No Rebel Lance, as I said. Nostalgia, and I'll have that fact of the week for Tom as well. So let's get to it, my friends. Teofimo Lopez. The drama continues. He's the new Ryan Garcia. It's always been Ryan Garcia. There he is with Ryan Garcia, Teofimo Lopez, the WBO junior welterweight champ, now flirting around at 145 or 147. After his win against Arnold Barbosa Jr. in Times Square about a month ago, which was a debacle show by the Turk guy in Ring Magazine, he wants James Boots Ennis at 147. That's what he said. The Turk guy would not give him the purse Teofimo was asking for, an awful lot of money. So he wanted him, the Turk guy, to put this fight together against Devin Haney. And it looked like Teo demanding more for that as well. Well, the Turk guy said he had a deal. Teofimo goes on a rant, and we were gonna have August 16th in Saudi Arabia. Get more to that in a moment. Then again, Teo goes on a racial rant, and he accuses the Turk guy of this and that, and then blatantly insults him. Turk guy says, "You're fired. I don't want you." He had been with some type of 2 or 3 fight deal with the Turk guy, Saudi Arabia, Riyadh City, and so forth. So then Teofimo is seen with, as we saw, Ryan Garcia. Rumors are swirling. We see Teofimo Lopez even sitting down with Oscar De La Hoya. Rumors are flowing. Is he going to Golden Boy? Is De La Hoya setting something up with Teofimo Lopez? The rants continued on X, the racial comments and so forth, the apology leveled by Teofimo Lopez to His Excellency that he released. That was on X. Tom, do we have that apology that he made? Because it was like an apology. Teofimo on X basically said, "I'm sorry to the Excellency," and that all this and that, whatever it is, they made peace, supposedly. So more rumors about where's Teofimo going to fight. Is it Devin Haney or not? But a few days ago, after making peace with the Turk guy, reportedly this fight again against Devin Haney was set again, August 16th, Saudi Arabia. Now that fight's on hold at a catch weight at 145. No fight. And today, Teofimo Lopez's manager or attorney released a statement. His rep said this, and let's read it out. "Unfortunately, Teo won't be fighting on in August for personal reasons that I will keep confidential. We want to thank His Excellency for the opportunity, everything he's done for Teo. We planned on fighting, but with what was going on, he wanted to make sure he was 100% right mentally and physically. That's the key word there, mentally. Remember all last year I kept saying Ryan Garcia mentally? We got this now with Teofimo Lopez. And August was just too quick of a turnaround. I don't know if we can buy that. This fight was going to be made. And the money was on the table. But Teofimo Lopez has all of a sudden become more than what he wants money-wise. And he wanted more, and he's pulled out. And that's what it is. And that, to me, is not about physically not able physically to be able to do it. He is physically able to do it. It's a mental thing. Teofimo Lopez has admitted to having some type of disparities with his behavior, whatever you want to call it. Not as much as Ryan Garcia did. But he does say again, Kevin Connolly, this to Mike Coppinger in the Ring magazine, I expected to be back after this year, bigger and better than ever. The fight is not going to be against Ryan Garcia in a 140-pound, 145, 147 division, catchweight 145. The fight to be with Devin Haney. And Devin Haney's not going to get Ryan Garcia based on what we saw a month ago in Times Square. So the natural thing would be Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney, Turk guy who likes to make the fights for the fans. Let's face it, he does. Turk guy wants these two in the ring. Teofimo Lopez had agreed to it. Devin Haney now is going after Teofimo, say, what are you doing here? We had a fight. Teofimo said he never signed for the fight. Devin Haney said he did sign for the fight. No one signed for the fight. It's not made. So this big blockbuster at 145, the catch weight, Haney and Lopez is not going to occur. The charades and all this going on with Teofimo Lopez now continues. And let me bring in Tommy D, my esteemed colleague from BD Sports Talk, who co-hosts this program with me now each and every week. Tom, thanks again for filling in for me last week. Great job.
No problem. We had fun last week.
Don't get on my case, get on Teofimo Lopez's case. What do you make of this, my friend?
I think he's a head case. I've been saying that for quite a while. I mean, it's if it's not a racial rant, it's some stupidity or something. It's always something with Teofimo. Ever since he's got the big win against Lomachenko, Teo has not been the Teo that people thought he was going to be.
No.
He was actually a likable guy. He was a guy to take over, right? People kind of bought into that,
Yeah.
But after the win against Loma, I think he started to become more of a diva. And then, I think these mental, these mental collapses that are whatever they want to call it, I think this is an excuse. I think, this is now the trend where some fighters, they use this. And I think that's also wrong because there are people that are struggling with mental health. And, for these fighters, using that as an excuse, I think that's a cop out. I don't like it at all. You got to be held accountable for what you say.
It really is disturbing just reading his post on X and to go back and forth, even on Instagram, and how the Turk guy is trying to do the best for the sport. Let's face it. There's no doubt about that. And how Teofimo Lopez has suddenly just shifted his whole attitude and his entire way of approaching this and fighting Devin Haney next. And is it a fact now? The question, is he not mentally or physically prepared to fight Devin Haney as was planned on August 16th in Saudi Arabia?
It's got to be a combination of something. I mean, but what is it exactly? He wanted Boots Ennis. He said it wasn't high enough, right? He got offered to fight Devin Haney. Supposedly got offered to fight Keyshawn Davis as well. As far as what we know about Teo, he's never made more than maybe like $1 million, maybe off his last fight. I mean, the rumor or whatever was out there that I've read is 11 million. That's 11 times your biggest payday.
The guy that could do that was the Turk guy to give him 11 million. That rumor is true. We've heard that too. Yeah.
The guy.
By the way, we want to thank first comment of the night to that's Bruce Gas, Boxing Jazz, and more. Thank you for your comment. Appreciate that. And we want you to comment here on the program as well as we go along this next hour or so. Also there to, who is that, Daniel?
Well, Daniel Barry. There's a few guys.
What's highlights? Thank you, Daniel. Yeah. Good to have you aboard, and comment, everyone, just like they are. I think right now, this is a fight that will be made because you know how boxing is, Tom.
Yeah, I know.
This is boxing, and to go back and forth, and I think it's in Teofimo Lopez's corner, and the money's $11 million. He's not going to run away from that.
Well, he's running away from it as right now. So I mean, it's there for him to take, and this is a fight that he could win. I mean, Devin Haney is a great fighter.
It is
and I also think that Teofimo's a great fighter as well. But we're not going to know unless they fight each other.
What got into him? And we'll never know, because that head of his, it reminds me so much of the head of Ryan Garcia all last year. And wouldn't you know, Devin Haney's in the middle of all this.
Let's go back. Let's go back a few months when they were doing the fight week and even the press conference for the New York City card. He was the one that headlined the whole card. He was there acting a fool, coming in outfits, making all these comments.
Too much of a showman, and I don't like that about him. I mean, what he's selling a fight or not, he doesn't have to sell himself. To me, he's very talented. Hasn't been that talented as much as he was at 140, but he's still very talented. He doesn't need to hype himself. He doesn't need to cause all this chaos to hype a fight.
At this point, he does not.
And this causes him to lose fan interest. The fans get turned off. You yourself just said it. You're turned off. I'm getting turned off with it. Enough is enough.
It's a bad look. It's
All right. So to summarize, Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney are not going to fight. The catch weight at 145, August in Saudi Arabia. To be determined. More on that to come. However, one guy, former champ at 135, who Teofimo and Teofimo fought this guy, and let's say this retirement that came out of nowhere today. They had been talking wasn't going to fight again, but we didn't believe it. Vasily Lomachenko, credit to the sport, 37 years old, retires. Ukrainian 3-division champion. His last fight, last May, again, he stopped Gambosa in the 11th round. Finishes up a career at 18-3. I said finishes up. I don't think it's over. Fighters retire and they come right back. His only losses on his record right now, Lando Salido, Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney. But for now, Vasily Lomachenko is out of the picture completely, Tom. And it's sad because I liked him a lot. Here's a fighter who brought a lot to the table, had some power. He had great right. And he was an exciting fighter, came up from the amateur ranks, older than many others, turned pro at a late age, and just went at it on the top rank. Top rank today released a statement, very complimentary, and thanked Vasily Lomachenko for his great career. Tom, we have some video that of Vasily Lomachenko's Loma, as they called him, statement on Instagram that got everybody by surprise today. Go ahead, Tom, roll it.
First and foremost, I want to thank our Lord Jesus Christ for everything He has done for me, for guiding a prideful young man down a path that ultimately showed me that fame, legacy and recognition are not the true purpose of life. I am grateful for every victory and every defeat, both in the ring and in life. I am thankful that as my career comes to an end, I've gained clarity about the direction a person must take in order to achieve true victory, not just in the ring, but in overcoming the old self. Only then can one receive their true reward. I thank God for my wonderful, honest and kind parents, for their care, their love and their warmth I felt throughout my life. My father not only taught me art of boxing, but how to be a role model for my own children. The same way he has always been for me. I've made many mistakes in life and in the gym, but he was always by my side, correcting me then needed, praising me then earned it. I have many warm memories. I love you deeply. Dad, I bow low before you and dedicate the most hurtful words in the world to you. You are my number one. To my family, you have always stood by me. You shared in my victories with joy and felt the pain of my losses. But those moments only made us stronger. Andrei Borisovich, you are a truly unique person who taught me so much. Without you, the puzzle of my career wouldn't have come together. You are a world-class professional. Our journey hands up and downs, but we face it everything with dignity. Your personal qualities are something else, entirely. You are a man who sacrifices his own time and energy for others. I am grateful that our professional relationship became a true friendship. Thank you for everything. Dear Aegis, thank you for everything you've done for me and my family. You are a man who knows his craft, the best manager in the world, who became a friend and part of our family. Your professionalism goes hand in hand with your character, honesty, integrity, kindness, and the ability to find.
And yeah, Tom, that was an extensive statement for the former world champion, many a times known as a top pound-for-pound fighter in the sport. And indeed he was. Put on some great fights. I've covered a lot of them here in New York and in Vegas with Top Rank. He was under their umbrella. But he's more right now concerned about his family and his fellow countrymen there in the Ukraine. He's helping them fight that war, in that war that doesn't seem to ever end. It's a loss for the sport because he was a gentleman as well as a great fighter. He is a future Hall of Famer, no doubt about it. However, though, how many times have we seen this? Fighters will take a year off, maybe two, and they come right back. The retirement is over because right now it's about the money, Tom.
I think it is all about the money, but I think it sounds like he's done. I think he's done. He hasn't fought in a while. He's had back problems. I don't know if he had to have surgery on his back, but he's had some back issues. So I truly believe that it is for Loma. He's had a great career. Definitely Hall of Famer. Unlike one of my colleagues that are in the chat, I don't think he's first ballot though. I think he's been
really why?
He's in the past few years. I think he hasn't fought as much. He's never really been a pay-per-view guy. I think he's only fought on pay-per-view twice, and he doesn't have that memorable fight. So I don't think he's had that memorable win yet. In his career. I mean, he's got some good wins, but he doesn't really have that memorable win. Definitely a great. I don't know about an all-time great. I think there's a difference.
Well, the Teofimo fight wasn't that very exciting of a fight. Say maybe with Gambosis. Devin Haney wasn't that great. So you got a point there, but he is a 3-division champion. Let's give him credit.
No, absolutely. And Bruce Gass hit the nail on the head. With today's standards, he's first ballot. I'm a little bit. I get a little bit hard on certain fighters. No doubt about it. He's great, and he's a great fighter. I would have loved to see him do a couple things more. But yeah,
well, that's another thing. First ballot, and we're going to talk Hall of Fame later because that's this weekend.
Yeah,
first ballot doesn't apply to the Boxing Hall of Fame. Writers get a ballot, and they just pick who they want, and they have 10 choices. Not like the Baseball Hall of Fame, where the Baseball Hall of Fame first ballot. That's different. They could just pick a name, and they look at a name like Lomachenko when he's eligible, and they'll pick him right away. So if that's considered first ballot, I could go with that. But what, in your mind, if indeed this is the end of Vasily Lomachenko, stands out to you?
I think the fight that I thought that he was going to have problems with, he washed the guy. It looked funny. I think, to me, the Nicholas Walters fight is just the way he just made him quit. I thought it was something funny there, but Nicholas Walters was a guy that was supposed to be, great. I think he just came off beating Nonito Donaire, and he made Walters pretty much quit in the fight. He got a win over Rigo, but Rigo was a small guy. He had to come up almost 2 weight classes to fight him. He did beat Gary Russell, and he did beat Gary Russell a little bit easily. A lot of people said that fight was close. I didn't think that fight was close. He did beat Gary Russell pretty convincingly, in my opinion. So yeah, I mean those fights stand out. I mean, a close loss to Devin Haney. That was a very competitive fight. A lot of people thought he beat Devin Haney. I scored it. I thought it was a draw. I thought the fight is a draw. You can't convince me otherwise. You can make a case for either fighter. So yeah, close fight with that. The Teo fight, he lost to Teo, but he came on strong in that fight. He kind of waited too long to throw punches as a slow starter. So yeah, I mean, Loma, great fighter, great career, Hall of Fame.
I will tell you, at one point, I had him as my top pound per pound. I did. And that was a time when Canelo was still around and Teofimo was around still. And I had him as a top pound per pound. Not for long, but I did. But again, I will say it, to be determined. Does he come back? And a great career it was either way, Hall of Fame bound. Let's move on, Tom, to and great insights, by the way. Thank you. And thanks for everyone commenting tonight. And we want you to do that here at Keep It in the Ring Live on my YouTube channel, Rich Mancuso. Like, comment, and subscribe, if you will. Crawford Canelo. We'll talk about that. Still, we know the promoter now. Looks like it's going to be Turkey with someone else. Saudi Arabia. Is it Vegas, Allegiant Stadium? We don't know. It's September 13th. We know that. Hasn't been official. Hasn't been officially signed. They say it has. But Canelo this week, Tom, said this. His legacy is there. He doesn't have much more to do. He's retiring when he's 37 years of age. He's 36 now. So maybe if he fights Crawford for sure, and it looks like it's going to happen in September, this could be his last fight. You buy that?
I don't buy it because he signed for a lot of money. You find that, I think a 4-fight deal. So I think at the very least, you're going to see 2 more fights next year with Canelo. I'm hoping this fight gets made. I mean, happens because right now it looks like they switched the venue. They haven't picked the venue after they already said they were going to have the venue. So I'm really hoping it happens. I want to see this fight. It's got me intrigued. Can he beat Crawford, or can Crawford be great and go up the 2-weight classes and
that's the question.
Canelo,
that's the prevailing question. How will Crawford handle going up 2 weight classes? Many are saying that he has more power at that weight, and that Canelo brings also the power to the table. And many are saying that Crawford will win this fight. I haven't determined yet because we're still months away, and I'll wait until it's made and it's official, though.
I think Crawford can win this fight. My thing is that if it's close, are the judges are going to be fair and give Crawford a fight? So
if it's in Vegas, how fair can they be? Right? Okay. All right. More on that as we keep looking for this official announcement. Terrence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez, mega fight of the year, and one mega fight of all time. At least that's what we think. All right. Tom, was a good weekend for boxing. We did have some good fights. Zully Plant on Amazon Prime. Upset of the year. Armando Resendiz, super middleweight from Mexico. Split decision over Plant. He's now the interim WBA super middleweight champ. And the CompuBox stats tell the story about how Resendiz won this fight. He landing 186 of 600 total punches. 31% compared to the 108 of 509, 20.2 percentage there. Plant used his jab. Latest saying he fought with a bad hand. I don't know how true that is. Resendiz counter punching and more aggressive. The final seconds of the 6th round, the final 6 rounds, the right hands in the final seconds of 6 went to work for Resendiz. Plant couldn't recover. Now the controversial scorecards. Here we go. Despite Resendiz becoming the new champion and Plant looking for a rematch and might get it, he outlanded Plant 186 to 108 in total punches. Okay? Split decision. David Sutherland is the culprit. He gives Plant the final 6 rounds. That's you can't justify that. 115, 113, 116, 112 twice, 115, 113. But he gives Plant the final 6 rounds. Impossible. What was he looking at? What was he looking at? Wasn't looking at the same fight you and I did.
I have no idea. I don't know what he was thinking. I didn't think this fight. I mean, it was competitive, but it wasn't close. I had it 8 rounds to 4 for Resendiz too. This past Sunday on the radio with Pedro Fernandez, we got at David Sutherland. I did a little bit of research on him. He's been kind of shaky in some fights. I mean, the Virgil Ortiz against Bohachuk fight, he was the judge in that fight. He gave the fight to Virgil Ortiz. A lot of people thought Bohachuk won. Raymond Muratalla when he fought Tevin Farmer.
Yeah, he was there
I thought
too.
that fight was extremely
He was
close.
one of the 3 blind mice there too.
He gave the fight to Muratalla 97-92 in a very close fight. He had him winning big.
And there's no scrutiny over this. All you can do is talk about it, write about it, and nothing's being done about it.
Yeah,
this guy should not be judging a fight. He should not. He has a bad past. And now this. Look, I'm not going to say judges are always bad and wrong. I will say this: they have as difficult job as could be, but they got to be more attentive and probably need more training to score a fight with the way they do it, because what they're seeing and what we're seeing are 2 different things. And in this case, Sutherland saw something totally different, didn't agree with his 2 colleagues at ringside, and here you go. Boxing needs to correct this.
Yeah.
There's been an outcry about this, and they never seem to correct it.
Here's another thing that I found very interesting. The guy is from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, and he keeps getting these big fights in Vegas. I just don't know how they keep flying him in there. He's getting treated as one of the best judges there is to do these big fights in Vegas from Oklahoma. So I find that kind of odd. Just seems like a house guy, a house judge, for the big promotions. So
I don't know. But anyway, Plant is now lost 3rd in his last 5 fights. He's 32 years of age. He's 23-3, 14 knockouts. His losses to Canelo Alvarez, of course, David Benavidez. And now, of course, this was the upset of the year. I thought so. Rematch, maybe. However, Jamal Charlo, he wins over Thomas LaManna. 34-0 is Charlo. And because Plant lost, that anticipated matchup with Charlo and Plant, that's on hold.
Yeah,
that's not going to happen anytime soon. Charlo stopped LaManna early in the 6th round. Charlo with the 3 knockdowns. LaManna was severely cut and bruised, and this was Charlo's first fight since 2023. Charlo landed 44 jabs, 23 power shots. Now, Tom, he did look good. Granted, Thomas LaManna, some say he's a journeyman, but he's not. He's been around, and he's been in there with some of the best from New Jersey.
Yeah,
and, it was a right way. It was right to stop the fight.
Yeah,
and it was good to see Charlo back in the ring. But everyone wants to see this type of a grudge match because they do have some animosity.
Yeah,
and that fight now is not going to happen because Plant, who didn't win the last 6 rounds of that fight, succumbed to a loss. So there it is, boxing again.
Yeah, LaManna to me is a journeyman. Yeah, he's been around for a while. He's faced some good competitions, but he's lost to every guy, and he's been stopped by the good competition he has faced. So to me, I think he is a journeyman. It gave Charlo some rounds. I believe Charlo went some rounds because he wanted to go around. I think Charlo could have ended it in like the 2nd round if he wanted to. But it was some good rounds for Charlo. I don't want to see Charlo and Plant. I know he wants to get the – let's see Charlo. He's an undefeated fighter.
You're not going to see it anytime soon.
No, we're not yet. He still wants to fight, though.
What's the next – I know. I called for it. What's the next move for Plant? Does he get the rematch with Resendiz? What do you think?
I think if Resendiz won and if they threw him enough money, I think, he might get the rematch. But I don't know if I want to see it again. It just looks like Plant, the kryptonite is those Mexican come forward, fighters. He can't beat them. He's gotten in trouble, gotten hurt by all 3 of the Mexican guys he's fought.
Yeah.
So
that's right.
I don't know.
Good point. All three Mexicans.
Three
Benitez a
Mexican
Mexican
pressure
American
fighters.
more.
Yeah.
But you know what? I didn't know much about Resendiz. I studied him a little bit before, and then of course afterwards, and I saw what were we waiting for? This guy should have had a title fight more. He should have been in the mix even sooner.
Well, he's moved up in weight and he's been stopped.
Right,
before.
he moved up in weight.
By, I think Elijah Garcia stopped him.
Right.
And and I think this was his first fight at 168. He
First
looked good.
at 168, and put on a spectacular show for the fans. Upset of the year. Former IBF. Yep, I think so. Yep. Thank you again, frontlining. We're going to get to Keyshawn in a moment. Former IBF Super Bantamweight champ Akolave, 14-1, 11 knockouts, 8th round TKO Friday night over Alcedi in Mexico. Next for him could be Inoue, the great Japanese featherweight champ. And that could be for the undisputed 122-pound championship at some point this year. And on the zone, light heavyweight Khalid Ko. All right. His rematch, he wins it. 9th round, he lost in the 9th round in the rematch versus Gallegos, the first fight. This one stopped after 5 rounds. Batted was Gallegos. I was surprised at this. No question. Ko was back in the mix. Got a great jab, better than he had in the first fight. That was on the zone. That was an entertaining fight to see. Yeah, I didn't expect Gallegos to be stopped, by the way. I didn't expect that, at least to go the decision route, but he got stopped. All right, we're talking about a big weekend in boxing coming up. You know, too much. Either you have nothing or you got too much. This weekend we got too much. Can't keep track. You've got like 6 or 7 shows in 5 nights. Starting tomorrow night, Boxing Hall of Fame weekend on the Zone, their annual show. To run down every fight would just take more than an hour. We're not going to do that. But there are some very fights of interest here. In particular, Keyshawn Davis, top ranked, at the Scope in Norfolk, Virginia. Back there again after his November successful homecoming. Defends the WBO light welterweight title against Edwin De Los Santos, the Southpaw. That's on ESPN and ESPN Plus Saturday night. Top ranked, and ESPN ending their 6-year alliance at the end, sometime in August. Santos is the Southpaw. He lost the unanimous decision to Shakur Stevenson November of 2023. But this was an interesting press conference today on Fight Week, Tom. Really, and let's roll and see what happened. And somehow Abdullah Mason, who's on this card against Jeremiah Nakatia, was involved with this. I don't know what's going on with Keyshawn Davis. I don't know if it's ego or because he's a champion. Roll what you got, Tom. This happened today in Norfolk.
So I'm just working my way up. I'm getting honest. I worked my way up to number 2. We got somebody else ahead of me. I'm right there.
Is this man that's licking his chops while he stares at you one of those guys?
Absolutely.
So what you want to do?
I'm working my way up. I'm right here.
So after you beat him, what you want to do?
We could do whatever. I'm pretty sure my team could put anything together.
Are you going to put it together, sir? You the man in there.
I don't want to talk to you right now.
I bet you don't.
But I let my hands do the talking. So
let's do it next. Let's do it next.
Okay, I'm pretty sure my team accommodates.
No. Me and you, let's make it happen right now in front of everybody. After I knock De Los Santos out, after you knock this opponent out, me and you, let's fight next. Let's do it.
That's what I'm here for.
You here to fight me next?
He said that's what I came for.
That's a bet. Bob, you ready? Bob, you ready? Bob Aaron, the man with the player right there. The man with the players right there. Bob Smiley, he like it.
Can somebody get him
You gonna get him hurt, Bob. You gonna get him hurt.
We're matchmaking up here, so add that to my credentials, okay?
Hey, Pops, where you at, Pops? You walking him into something crazy now.
I thought he was maybe going to go the WBC route, and it would be for a unification.
You walking into something crazy, Pops. You know it.
You see, yeah.
Oh, man, is this hype or what? What's with him and Mason, though? They're stablemates.
They're stablemates, not really. They're not stablemates. They fight under the same
top ranked banner than me. I call them.
Well,
I that's old school stablemate talk.
I think they set up Abdullah, and I thought Abdullah handled it well. I thought he handled it well. Keyshawn is going to be Keyshawn. You know, he's saying all the right things.
What is it with Keyshawn? Why does he have to get? Is it ego with him?
No, this is who
a nice
he is.
young man. Why has he got to do all that?
He's promoting the show. He wants the big fights. He wants to show that he's the best. I have no problem with it. I think it's also strategic if you think about it. You know, Mason is still, you know, just maturing right now. Only just turned 21 years old. You know, he's not going to be what's the word? I guess he's not going to get into like a mental or mental way of words with Keyshawn. He's not winning that battle. You know, but I thought Mason handled himself very well. He didn't back down, and he said he'll let his hands do the talking. So I thought it was good by both guys.
Well, but the attention, though, should be on Dos Santos, the southpaw. Keyshawn is defending the title for the first time in his hometown at the Scope. Do you think he'll be will that affect him? Because a lot of fighters defending their title and going for it in their hometown, sometimes it don't work for them. Will it for him?
No, I think he's very focused. He has a great team around him. He's got his brothers on the card. You know, when they had, I know he wasn't champion the last time they were in Virginia, but he showed out for his, you know, for his city. I think he does the same thing. De Los Santos is a dangerous opponent, but De Los Santos has not been in the ring for almost 2 years, and that has to, you know, matter for something. So I think Keyshawn is focused,
and he's a southpaw. He's a southpaw, even though
he brings a southpaw to him.
Yeah,
and I think
his fight with Shakur, of course, was Shakur being dull, you know. But I'm
different type of fighter.
Keyshawn's different. I'm looking forward to that fight. But Tom, this weekend you got too much, and you're gonna live by your laptop, your phone, your tablet, wherever, and watch the Zone, your TV, wherever you watch them. The Zone's going to have boxing on from early in the morning to late at night. There's one fight card after another. I don't know how they're pulling this all up. All these different promoters. One fight of interest that I have on the Zone, besides the Sean Davis title defense on ESPN, in Australia, Jaya how do you pronounce it? Obatai. Thank you. Claudio Squero, 12 rounds for his IBF Cruiserweight title. Obatai is not known. You know, his last few fights, he's become more known. I like him in a cruiserweight division, and I want to see this. That's one fight show besides the ESPN show that I've decided to watch.
Yeah, these guys, they're going back and forth about Keyshawn and stuff. But I like Jai Obatai. I think he wants to clean out the division, and I can see him in the future in the heavyweight division. Exciting fighter. You know, I think he handles his business this late Saturday night. The fight's in Australia. You know, so somebody look forward to it.
So Keyshawn with his brother also on the card and the undercard as well, and Scooter Davis is on the card. A nice, exciting lightweight. I like him. Top Rank bringing them out. The prospects on the card. Sean retains the title, and Obatai retains his. The two cards I'm watching. I cannot watch a whole day of boxing like that. I'm a boxing junkie, but I also have a wrestling show I have to be at with the Rebel.
You're actually going?
Yeah, I'm going.
He's been waiting for you to go. We was making fun of you earlier.
I know. I saw that. I'm going. I'm going. All right. So interesting. Big fight weekend with some title fights. So tune in. ESPN, The Zone will have most of the action. Next week, we'll talk about this more later. Next week, in fact, in Madison Square Garden, the theater. That's also on The Zone. Matchroom, Gambosa, and Richardson Hitchens for Hitchenson's IBF title at 140. And then we go into that month of July. The month of July in New York at the forefront again. Amanda Serrano, all-female card in the Garden. I don't know how you're handling this. I'm not going to that one.
I'll be there. I already got tickets. I got tickets for everything.
Press credential. What are you talking about tickets for?
I already bought the tickets because I don't get approved like you do. You get approved for everything. I
don't get approved for everything. I don't get approved by my mailman. I got to get approved for fight.
You get approved for fights. I don't. I get approved sometimes. It's a roll of the dice.
I've been denied before. They don't want old school Rich there. And then you got the next night at Willie Armstrong Stadium. We'll talk about this great super card Edgar Berlanga on it, Shakur Stevenson, was Zapata, title fights, Matchroom. And then that guy, back of me is Anders Zayas, fighting for a title. And that's going to be at Madison Square Garden at the theater also. And that's going to be what, July 26th? What is the date on that?
July 26th at the theater.
Yeah. So July is going to be busy and a hotbed in New York. And we're looking forward to that. All right. More controversy, Tom, in boxing. California State Athletic Commission. The super featherweight champion, WBO, Emmanuel Navarrete, is unanimous. Remember this? Unanimous decision win recently over Charlie Suarez. They've ordered a rematch. Now, they said this fight was no contest. The rematch, because they watched a replay of this controversial fight, the cut over Navarrete's left eye, the left eyebrow. The fight was stopped on the scorecards. The replay in Vegas, was it a cut? Was it a butt? Whatever. It's now been ruled a no contest, and the WBO, the commission has said, you got to have a rematch. Your thoughts?
I think they made the right call. It's unfortunate that, he didn't win the title versus Navarrete because, he deserved to be a champion, to walk out a champion. It's disappointing, but they made the right call. They're ordering a rematch, and, we'll see what happens. I mean, it was a perfect punch that opened it up, and, Navarrete has not looked like, the Navarrete we seen a few years ago. He
fights inside, and that's why, remember, we talked about it a few weeks ago on the program and analyzed his fights inside a lot, and then the replay showed, that was the cut from the headbutt or a punch, whatever. It's been ruled a no contest. They're going to have a rematch, and that was the right call. And Jaime Munguia, the other Mexican who I think is a warrior all the time, he denies, though, testing positive now. This is breaking news today from Mike Concature of the Ring, colleague, of a banned substance after his win over Bruno Saris for the IBF, the rematch that they had against Bruno Saris. The post-fight urine analysis showed that he tested positive. The trainer, Eddie Reynoso, denies it. Canelo Alvarez stepped in and denied it. So Jaime Munguia now is implicated, testing positive for banned substance against his fight with Bruno Saris. When will this end in boxing? We're hearing more and more of this, Tom.
Well, when are they going to investigate this trainer? Because this is like the fifth or sixth guy that's tested positive under him. Canelo's got nerve to talk, but Canelo's one of those guys that have tested positive under Reynoso as a trainer.
Point two, and I'm not directly implicating, or do I have a reason to, but a lot of this is coming from Mexican fighters. When you look at it,
Mexican fighters under Reynoso, I mean, it's something has to be done and something has to be said and investigated. I mean, he's denying it that they're gonna. I don't know if they tested the B sample yet. The B sample is going to show the same thing.
They said it tested positive.
Oh, the B sample.
This is another issue. We talk about controversial decisions and judges. Here now is another major issue that continues to plague the sport, and that is banned substances that fighters are using and eventually getting caught red-handed. Yeah. And here it looks like Jaime Munguia has been caught red-handed. And what is this statement from the ring?
Well, this is a statement from Bruno, the guy that beat him and had the upset of the year last year. He said he's basically saying after that, he said, "I'm shocked by the news that Jaime Munguia tested positive for a banned substance. There's no place in boxing for cheating. The sport is dangerous enough already. I went to Mexico and knocked out Munguia fair and square in December, and I was gracious enough to give him a rematch in May. He knew he could not beat me on a level playing field. I trust that this result will be overturned immediately." And rightfully so.
More controversy here, and a rematch will happen between these two. Just a shame what's going on. Tom, this came up late breaking today. Shaquille Foster and Stephen Fulton, according to reports, they have a deal in place for a fight. Foster's 130-pound title. And they're looking at doing this on the undercard of the Gervonta Davis, Lamont Roach rematch August 16th in Las Vegas. I think we're all looking forward to that. That should be
That's a good fight. O'Shaquie Foster and Stephen
Mhm.
Fulton moving up in weight.
Yeah.
You know, they've been talking. I like O'Shaquie Foster. I like Fulton, but O'Shaquie Foster, you know, he's been at that weight for a while. And you know, Fulton moving up, that's going to be tough for him. I like O'Shaquie in that fight, but nevertheless, that's going to be a good fight.
One thing is known too now, as we see this coming in today and this past week, the summer is usually dull time for the sport. But
Yeah.
we got a busy summer ahead. It's hot and heavy, as they say, for boxing. July
Especially
and
in New York.
August, some good fights,
Yeah.
especially in New York. All right, one UFC note of interest: USC heavyweight champ. Again, we're talking John Jones here. Tom Espinal looking to move on for the potential unification bout with John Jones in the octagon because Jones is not committed, he said, to fighting him. He said he's sick and tired of waiting for John's time. He said Jones should retire. Time to move on. He's no longer interested. That's a fight that UFC MMA fight fans wanted to see in the octagon, Jones and Aspinall. And who knows, just like boxing, where that's headed. Tom, let's get to the fact of the week, then take a break. We need one. Okay? You ready, Tom?
Yeah, let's go.
Talking here about the cruiserweight title, right? This week, right? What's his name again?
Jai Opatai.
Opatai.
Opataya or Opatai?
Okay, Cordeos Cuello for the IBF cruiserweight title. This is simple. We all know this is a fact, not trivia. All right? But, you know, they call them cruiserweights and not heavyweights. You know that.
Yes.
Right? But why did they do that? What's the fact about that? Why are they cruiserweights and not heavyweights when they almost weigh the same?
I don't know. I mean, unless it's something of the obvious with the weight limit, I don't.
Has
I'm
nothing
sure
to do
there's
with the
something
weight
more to it.
limit. Nothing to do with the weight limit. You know why they're called cruiserweights and not heavyweights when they could be heavyweights?
Why?
Because of their body frame.
Their body frame.
Yeah. I have no idea. But that's the fact.
That is the fact. That's a fact. That's
a
why
fact. It's a Rich Mancuso fact that I managed to get. Got you this week. Wasn't easy, but I got you.
You got me. I've been good, but that was an impossible one.
It was stupid.
I mean, I gave an impossible one to Ray last week. I mean, you know, I told him to give me the amount of punches.
Yeah, and he's fighting this weekend as well. Wayman,
yeah,
Scientist Guaderon on Danny Garcia, Uprising Promotions. These guys are the young fighters that he is propelling in Philadelphia and the outskirts of Pennsylvania, the former welterweight champion. We wish the Scientist Raymond good luck this weekend. Tom, let's take a break. We need a break. Back in a moment, more Keep It in the Ring. I'm Rich Mancuso. That's Tommy D. What we're going to do, take this brief time out. Don't forget, X Ring 786, Facebook.com, Rich Mancuso here. Live, comment, subscribe, like. Facebook, like my page. Keep It in the Ring. Pro Wrestling up next. No Robbie Rebel, but Tom and I will handle it. Back in a moment. Stay with us. Keep It in the Ring.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.
We continue live on my YouTube channel with, with Tommy D. Keep It in the Ring. I'm Rich Mancuso. Like, comment, and subscribe. It's Thursday, June 5th, 2025. Hey, Tom, no Rebel rant this week.
No, I think
no,
he
had
scared.
A commitment. He bailed. No, he got scared of me. I know.
He got scared. He was coming back. We were killing you last week.
I know. What was that all about?
Well, he had the open floor. I got him in nice and early instead of towards the end. He wanted to start the show and bring that energy early, so he was happy about that. And I think he wanted to let you know about it. So, and he's waiting for you to take him, to escort him to the ring in one of his matches already.
Well, I am Saturday somewhere in New Jersey. I'll be with Jason ECW Knight as well from ACW and Desiree. I'll be there. I'm going to escort him into the ring. That's the plan. He wasn't here this week. He bailed down on me. But I'm going to be with him on Saturday night. I promised him, and I will be there. And I'll watch the fights somehow in between. I'll catch the fights as well.
He should get you a hat just like this one.
Yeah, I know.
He should.
Too. He's been busy. He's got a lot going on, Robbie Rebel. We'll get him back next week on the program. But you know what? There was a time last week the two of you were talking about me, and I'm going, what the hell? What
we had a good time.
To me? I'm an old man.
I defended you.
Give me a break.
I defended you at times.
I know you did. I know you did. Yeah, but I remember the comment you made. Rich sometimes loses it. I heard that. I may not be doing I may not be doing the show because of another commitment, but I'm still going to tune in, my friend. So be careful. All right, let's get to the serious matters here because WWE, whether it's Course Effective Movement with their TKO Endeavor group or whatever, we got Frontline. What did he say? Frontline.
He said a joke. This guy's a joker. He's one of my good friends. He likes to joke. So
okay.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, thank you, Frontline. Keep watching. Appreciate all of you. But they're WWE course cutting, and this one took everyone by surprise. RTruth, not his contract. He's leaving, and it was a money thing. That's what it came down to. Even with Carlito. But let's get to the Truth story first, because he was popular with the fans. And his last match will be remembered with John Cena on Saturday Night Live. Truth made a statement on social media or on his Instagram account. Do you have that up there?
I don't think we have the image of that. That I do not.
All right, but he did say thank you, blah, blah, blah. It's not over, blah, the usual. I've been able to check with some of my wrestling sources, and his preference was to stay, but these are course-cutting effective measures by WWE in their alliance to, the company TKO Endeavor. I never was a fan of RTruth. What's up? And then he added comedy to the element of the whole thing. He's going to be missed by fans. They're chanting his name. They did it on Monday Night Raw. The locker room, the back guys in the back, even the gals, the females, they all said the same thing. Some of them were shocked. Even Rhea Ripley, to the point she was stunned. Yeah. Everyone was. But in the end, from what I'm told and what you might have heard and read, it was a decision by RTruth to step away because the money wasn't right. And that's a loss, though.
It's a big loss.
I didn't like him.
Yeah, because he's very likable in the locker room. People liked him. He played his role well. People got to understand, though, he also is 53 years old. 53 years old and was still working. He looked in phenomenal shape, but he was 53 years old. He didn't look 53 at all. He did not look 53 years old. So, a lot of people don't realize that he is.
And here's the thing. It came at a time with the Cena match, and he's wearing a shirt one last time with John Cena's retirement tour, which was a top merchandise seller. And they let him go. Makes no sense. There's no logic to that. But then again, he decided to step away. All right. The other one, I didn't know if this was coming either. Carlito, after he wins the WWC PR Championship in San Juan, it's a Summer of Madness. That's where he won that title, and he gets released. And what does that statement say? He released a statement as well on social media. Tom, you want to read it?
He says, my contract is up in 2 weeks. It will not be renewed. On top of that, WWE is demanding I pay back the money they paid me. They paid me for apparently stealing money from the company.
That I didn't understand.
So he's saying that in quotes. Basically, I think he's referring to like he hasn't really been doing any work. He's just been, kind of like in the background.
Part of Judgment Day. He was in the background.
Yeah,
And
so
he
I think
really
that's what
wasn't doing anything. He wasn't in the ring. He would interfere in matches, but this was his second stint around with WWE, and he had won a title that he was going to take it to the Judgment Day in their clubhouse, but he's gone. And there was no mention or look at him at all on Monday Night Raw this week. He's gone.
I think this is another case where they're misusing some of the talent. I mean, Carlito was in the best shape I've seen him be. You know, when he came back, he's much bigger and much more built than when he was the Intercontinental Champion many years ago. But they misused him. There's another case just like RTruth. RTruth was used well, but they didn't want to pay him. I don't know what Triple H is doing.
But you know what, Tom? They are. There are more to come. I'm hearing more cuts will come, and some big names as well.
I don't know if this is.
They're going to bring Goldberg in probably Monday Night Raw to interfere with Gunther and Jey Uso again, which I don't want to see. No one wants to see that match again. They're doing that Monday Night Raw, and then Goldberg will eventually. This is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Eventually with Gunther, and maybe Gunther will win that title back from Jey Uso, which I can't believe they would do it, but it's very possible Monday night on Raw.
I think that would be horrible. That's
what's
horrible.
going on there to me. Also, no logic with talent. They're signing talent as well, and they're bringing up a lot of the NXT talent too. And then Mariah May makes her debut on NXT. She's going to have a different name straight out of AEW, and immediately she's expected to propel herself into the WWE Women's Division and in the championship title mix. So. I don't think Triple H is making all these decisions. TKO Endeavor is calling the shots, and he has to go along with it.
No, I think it's a little bit of both. And I don't mind them bringing up talent from NXT because you want to bring up the young talent and give them an opportunity to see if they can go over or get the crowd involved. I think it's time to get some of these older guys out. And just bring in some of the new talent. So I'm always okay with that. I just, if you're going to do it and get rid of these guys, at least use them. I didn't like the way they used Carlito. I mean, Carlito's talented. He could have done way more, than what they were using. RTruth was a big surprise because RTruth, they were able to use him correctly. They could have gave him a Legends contract. He's a legend. He's been around a very long time. He was, he's a great worker at TNA.
I'm sure they're going to do something with him down the line again. Whether not be in the ring, but doing something else. Too popular.
But why bring back Goldberg? He's terrible.
He's retiring, and they pitched a retirement match for him, and they teased that months ago with Gunther, and they're probably going to do that. I agree with you. I agree with you on that.
Yeah,
it would be a one-time thing. So he's not going to win a title. Now, the problem I got with WWE is we're gonna rush through this too. Too many shows at once. They're cluttering too much in a short span of time, so they can't really build the storylines as much as they'd like. I'm being told it's being done for a reason. Not only are they meeting their PLE dates, their pay-per-views stuff on Peacock, but this is what TKO Endeavor wants. Okay? Including now TKO Endeavor are dictating what arenas they're going to go into, and that spends in Las Vegas now, where WrestleMania next year is going to return there, not New Orleans.
I think that's messed up. I mean, it's always good when they switch the arenas around, but you're going to do Vegas 2 years in a row. I mean, it's just I don't know what the right word for it, but
it's business. That's what it is.
It's business, but it's bad business. It's not good. I mean,
sometimes you wonder, and you miss Vince McMahon. Sometimes you miss him. Because under Vince McMahon, all this wouldn't have been happening.
Yeah,
none of it.
It's okay if they bring it overseas every now and then, like the UK, because they do great overseas, and the crowd is
that's
always
where the
involved,
money is, and that's where they're gonna go. Yeah.
But Vegas, nah.
Yeah. So Saturday night, you have two shows WWE in a span of a few hours in Los Angeles. Worlds collide with their merging with AAA. Worlds collide 3 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. Everyone can see that. And El Grande Americano is going to be on that card.
That's my favorite guy right now.
Yeah.
It's the best gimmick.
Yeah.
The best gimmick they got.
Chad Gable.
But it's the best gimmick they got right now.
The Money in the Bank. He'll be in that match. El Grande Americano. Gable's going to be in the AAA match as Chad Gable, who was exposed this week, by the way. He was El Grande Americano was wearing Chad Gable boots.
Yeah.
But Gable went on social media and got out of it and said El Grande Americano lent them to me. His initials are on the boots. That's Chad Gable. When are they going to take the mask off? It's him.
No, they can't take the mask off. They have to let this. They got to milk this for as long as they can. It's a great gimmick. I don't think he's not going to win Money in the Bank, but he's going to put on a great performance.
It's so stupid. End it. Oh, come on.
Oh, man. I can't believe you're not a fan.
No, I'm not. I'm not. Because it's so obvious it's Chad Gable.
It's the music. Everything about the gimmick is good. The music, the peace signs, everything about it. The mask.
Back then in wrestling in my era in the old days, the guy had a mask on, and we knew, like the Executioners, we knew there was someone else. They had a third one with a mask, and we knew it was one of them. It was obvious, and they revealed it right away.
When they brought Hogan and the Giant, and what did they do with them? They had the mask on for a while. Andre the Giant.
Yeah. He was.
I forgot that gimmick, and it was so obvious.
El Gigante. They gave him a name.
Yeah,
and it was Andre the Giant. Yeah, but they didn't. It didn't last this long.
Yeah, but this is funny. This is actually pretty good.
It's not funny. It's stupid.
Oh, but not even the ring entrance music.
No, I think it's stupid. It's comedy.
Come on.
All right. Anyway, Money in the Bank. Let's look at this. Let's look at this PLE. This starts 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Eastern at the Atua Dome in Los Angeles, not far from where Worlds Collide is. So, you're going to have a big wrestling weekend as well. Okay. There's a lot going on here. Becky Lynch, too, is did she win the title from, who's it? Who's she? Vaquero?
She's fighting the Irish girl, the Intercontinental title match?
Yeah.
I don't even know her name.
There's a lot of center of tension, though, is going to be on that tag team match. John Cena, Logan Paul, Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso. Roman Reigns makes a return in that match.
You think so? Okay.
I think so.
I didn't think that'll be good because we haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, I think he's going to get involved to set up a program with him and Seth Rollins. That's what I think. Okay, now let's first look at the women's Money in the Bank match.
Okay.
I like Rhea Ripley. Many are saying Naomi will win this. Roxanne Perez in it. What do you think? I mean, it's got a good women's Money in the Bank, but I like Rhea Ripley.
I think Rhea Ripley is a good choice.
Get a shot at the title.
Yeah, I like that choice as well. Rhea Ripley. If not, I guess they can go Bianca Belair. I don't see Naomi winning.
Bianca Belair and Naomi have some heat, of course. So Naomi might not be able to win this because she has too much heat with Bianca Belair. And where's Charlotte Flair in all this?
I don't know what they're doing with her.
No, she's lost in the shuffle. All right, the men's Money in the Bank match. All right, Seth Rollins, Solo Sikoa. I think it's LA Knight, Penta. Am I missing someone? I think I am.
Grande Americano.
CM Punk is in it, right?
No, CM Punk is not in it.
Oh, he didn't qualify.
He didn't. He lost to my favorite, of course.
All right. You know what I think? I'm going to go on a limb and tell you who's going to win the men's match. Everyone's going with Seth Rollins, and that would be your favorite. And if he does, Ricky Starks. Ricky Saints, but he's hurt now. I thought maybe he's hurt, so I don't know if he's going to be available, but he would interfere, help Seth Rollins win it, then become a member of his faction. That could happen. That could still very well happen. But Andrade's in this match, your favorite. And so is Penta. So you're not El Grande Americano is not winning the Money in the Bank.
He's not going to win, but he's going to put on a great performance. But
unless he uses the illegal metal object on the top of his head under the Chad Gable mask. I'm going to be like Robbie Rebel now and rant. Get rid of him, Grande Americana.
But is LA Knight, I think, is in it. I think he would be.
He's in it, but I think his time is up. He would have had a title already, a bigger magnitude than the United States Championship. But
yeah, I think this might be his run.
I can see Sikoa in this match and Haku. Is it Haku or Fatu?
Fatu. I don't even know. I don't think Solo would win.
They get into it. Are they both in it? Two of the bloodline. I look. I did a little preparation.
No, only on Solo. Solo's the only one in it.
Well, Solo's not going to get nowhere near that Money in the Bank because Faku or whatever is going to get involved. The two of them are going to finally. You could see that division coming. It's coming. The two of them are going to divide. And
I really believe. I think it's going to be between LA Knight and Seth Rollins. I don't see any of the other four winning.
All right. So Rhea Ripley to me wins, and I see in the end Seth Rollins winning it. That's my pick. All right. It's an entertaining PLE. I like Money in the Bank. Anything can happen going up those ladders to get the briefcase.
Roman Reigns could interfere in the Money in the Bank match too.
It causes Rollins the match, setting them up for SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's why I think LA Knight is the choice. I don't see Penta winning. I don't see Grande Americano winning. I don't see any of the other guys winning. Those are the only two. Solo, I don't see winning. So,
all right, and I gotta mention AEW real quick because we're heading towards Ospreay again, Strickland, and there's really to talk about them. It's the same old. You don't know what they're doing. Their matches, they're interesting. Dynamite. Here's what I don't like what they're doing. I'm going to leave wrestling on this note. Last night, Dynamite, and then they had Summerfest. This is going to happen again next week. 4 hours of wrestling on TBS. Last night and next Wednesday. Much too much because Collision's not going to be aired apparently Saturday night because of the NHL Stanley Cup Championship. So more 4 hours next week, building up to AEW All In July in Texas. That's conflicting with WWE and another PL, a Saturday night main event, I believe, in July. So I don't know. AEW's got a lot to do yet. They say their arena crowds have gone up. They also say their ratings are fine. I totally disagree. Tom, take a brief timeout. Wrap this all up. Been an interesting hour so far or more. Nostalgia coming up. We'll talk about the Hall of Fame weekend and rest in peace to a fighter, a Hall of Famer who passed away this past week. Rich Mancuso, that's Tommy D. This is Keeping in the Ring live on my YouTube channel. Like, comment, and subscribe. Back in a moment.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.
Tom, I'm just answering a text here, getting off boxing, wrestling, stuff like that. You've been to Yankee Stadium like me many times, right?
Yes.
Someone, the great publicist Jerry Milani, who's there tonight, and he says to me, something's got to be done about the loud noise after every pitch at Yankee Stadium, and I totally agree. Much too loud. Do you agree?
What loud noise?
After every pitch, there's noise. They get bump, 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 or something else.
They've been doing that for years.
Well, it got worse.
Yeah, every home team does something different. A stadium for the home team, they do that. I mean, I don't. They're used to it. You got this pitch clock now, and all these new things in the game. I have no problem with that. I mean, it's got to be part of the home field advantage. Something
the loudest ballpark in Major League Baseball, and believe me, I've been to all of them, most of them. And
Is
I'm at
Yankee
Yankee Stadium.
Stadium?
In fact, I'm there the next 2 nights, Friday night and Sunday night. And I love it there, but the noise is too much. I can't take it.
And when you got 40,000 people every night,
That's my point. They don't need to make all that noise, but the players want it that way. Players want that.
They want to be involved. They want
By
to.
the way, boxing's no different. I'm tired of sitting at ringside covering a fight, and I can't focus because of the strobe lights and all the noise. Why?
But they pay. It's a lot of money to get tickets. It's a lot of money to go to the Yankee games. The Yankee games is expensive. I mean, you're older than me.
Young guys, man. That's all. I'll forget about it.
It's a lot to these tickets for fights are a lot of money.
Yeah,
I mean,
strobe lights and noise, and even though in Yankee Stadium, can we get to nostalgia?
Yeah, yes.
That's Tommy D. I'm Rich Mancuso. Let's go first before we put the image up. Let's talk about these 2 fights. June 6, 1988, Iran Barkley stops Thomas Hearns. Round 3 WBC middleweight title, Las Vegas, Nevada. Hearns was a 4-1 favorite in this one. Barkley with his right cross, put Hearns on his back. Then, June 6, 1988, upset of the year. Yours truly covered that fight at ringside. I remember it really well. I ran the Blade Barkley, the Hall of Famers. So was Thomas Hearns. Barkley still residing in the Bronx. I see him every once in a while. Health-wise, doing much better. Then we go to June 7, 2003. And here we go again. Arturo Gatti defeats Mickey Ward, Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City. Covered this one as well. The finale of their trilogy. Another fight of the year, as they said. Ward retired after that bout. That was it. We all know the story, the history. Arturo Gatti and Mickey Ward, the trilogy, best one, many say, that boxing history has ever had. And then we go to this. Back to June 10th, 1955, Tom. There he is. Carmine Basilio, Paisan. Stopped Tony DeMarco, another Paisan. Italians at that time, Tom, they ruled boxing. That was their era. Rocky Marciano as well. Now, that was their era at that time. He stopped Tony DeMarco in round 12 to claim the welterweight title up in Syracuse, New York. Notice I didn't say WBA, WBC, IBF, IBO, ABC, ADF, ASD. I didn't say any of that because it was only one title. That's it. A world title. Syracuse, New York. Basilio won a title. The rematch in November 10th was a TKO. And DeMarco held up Basilio's arm in the middle of the ring when it was all over. There's the fight poster. That's how they did it back then, Tom. They did that. They had posters that advertised the fights. No social media, of course. TV was so much you can do. That's what they did. Fight posters.
Nobody had TVs.
Yeah, black and white. But boxing really didn't get on TV till a little later than that, if I'm not mistaken. But you had here, classic in June 10th, 1955, with Carmine Basilio and Tony DeMarco at 12 rounds, welterweight title up in Syracuse, New York. That's how it was back then. I wasn't there then. I wasn't even born then. I was born 2 years later. I'm not 70 years old. My brother is today, 1955.
You know, if Rebel was here, he would have got you at that.
I know. Well, you can make up for it. All right. Hall of Fame weekend, always a good time for the sport this week up in Canastota, New York, though I'm not going to be there. And, until they decide that Rich Mancuso belongs in the Hall of Fame, I may never go. I mean, not that I'm politicking for it, but I might be, but I think I belong.
Yeah, why not? I mean, you've been covering the sport for over 40 years. You've been at some major events,
major fights.
You covered the 1984 Olympics.
That's right. And more Olympics after that as well.
Yeah,
but I'm not in the Hall of Fame. I get bypassed every year. Frankly, I don't care, but I do care. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but it's this weekend up in Canastota, New York. It starts tonight with the banquet, the fight card tomorrow night, and then the induction ceremonies indoors on Saturday. Going in, Michael Dunn, the 2-division champion, the middleweight, super middleweight champ. You have Vinny Pazienza, who I know real well, who I wanted on the program tonight. We couldn't get it. Okay, you couldn't get him because he's at the banquet. The Tasmanian Devil from Cranston and Providence, Rhode Island. World title, lightweight at 140 also. The neck injury stopped his career. Major car accident. It's a miracle that he's able to walk today. He recovered, and he did his own rehabbing with a neck brace and all the other things that they do to get back, and he did. Quick story about Vinny Pazienza. His first pro fight. I'm covering that show up in Providence. I met him at the weigh-in. His father, Angelo, his late father, Angelo, knew I was a fellow Italian, a paisan, up in Rhode Island to cover this fight card. Next thing you know, he invites me to his house for an Italian meal. Okay? Next thing you know, we want you to come with us to the arena tomorrow night. In a limo, I drove to the Providence Civic Center with Vinny Pazienza, the newest Boxing Hall of Fame inductee this weekend. In the limo with his father, Angelo, for his first pro fight. And that one I will never forget, Tom.
Wow.
Never forget that.
Wow.
He brought me into their home, rode in the limo for his first pro fight. Little did I know that he'd be a world champion not too far off from that. Great story.
They knew.
I thought
they
I'd
knew
share that with everyone because
that's pretty cool.
They knew. Weekend. I'm going to get him on the show. We haven't talked in a long time, and I'm going to try and book it in the next few weeks. So, congratulations to all the inductees, even Randy Gordon, our friend, the former New York State Athletic Commissioner and one of the original editors of the Ring magazine back then.
Yeah,
Randy Gordon, who's a boxing extraordinaire, inducted into the Hall of Fame this weekend. And rest in peace, on a sad note this week, Mike McCallum. 68-year-old boxing Hall of Famer known as the Body Snatcher. Very feared puncher from 1981 and 1997. 49-5-1, the Olympian, the first Jamaican world champion, a junior middleweight, lightweight champion. His fights memorable with Julian Jackson and DeMarcus and Donald Curry. I remember the Curry fight real well. I covered that as well. You know, like McCallum, he was a very subtle guy. He wasn't loud. His loudness came in the ring when he punched with that power. They said he was a feared puncher. And he became a world champion and a first Jamaican world champion. He was a credit to the sport, like many other the Hall of Famers going up into the Hall of Fame this weekend, and then they're there now and have their plaques on walls up in Canastota, New York. But Mike McCallum was special. Special because he came from Jamaica and lived his dream. He once told me many years back, I always wanted to be a fighter and I wanted to be a world champion. Well, my friend, you achieved that goal. And not only that, you made fight fans very proud of what you did. Most of all, you exemplified what the sport was all about. That being not only a role model to many, but the way you did it in the ring and the way you did it out of the ring. Rest in peace, Mike McCallum, passed away, 68 years of age. Tom, he was a great one, my friend.
Yeah, he definitely a great one. Memorable fights with James Toney.
Yeah,
one of those fights I thought
that's right.
He was kind of robbed in one of those fights. I thought
go back and watch that too. Yeah. Well, that was a memorable one as well. I failed to mention that. But what I said, I meant every word of it. I wasn't a good friend of his, but with the media, he was special as well. And to me, that's very important. But Tom, me and you, hour or more tonight, we had a lot.
We did. We went a long way.
What are you doing this weekend? What fights are you going to watch?
I mean, listen, we mentioned the big cards. There's some other small cards. You did mention it briefly. Ray is fighting, in the Swift promotion of Danny Garcia. Keith Colon is fighting this weekend. And there's some fights on Pro Box. There's some good fights on Pro Box as well. There's a lot of fight cards.
There's, I think, 7 cards in 4 days.
Something like that.
Something like that. Most of them are on the zone. So if you have the zone, check the schedule.
Yeah.
Some of significance, some not. But I want to see Keyshawn Davis again at the Scope in his hometown against De Los Santos. I like that one. And, of course, the Cruiserweight title with Otapia.
No, Opatai. Jai Opataya or Opatai. It's definitely something like that. It's close.
I want to see that. We got Money in the Bank. I got a wrestling show as well with Robbie Rebel.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I got that.
So we have to manage our time.
It's going to be a busy weekend. I'm not going to get much sleep. I got the Yankees as well tomorrow night and Sunday night as well.
Oh, the Yankees.
Boxing is my thing, as long as it is yours and many others out there. Enjoy the fights this weekend. Enjoy the wrestling if you're a wrestling fan. And Tom, next week, you might be holding the reins again, my friend.
Oh, man. And next week is a big week because next week we have here in New York another card.
I know.
One of the four. I think four cards in the next
I've
month.
got commitments and I got to keep them with the baseball, with my medical appointments or whatever it is. I'm okay. I just want everyone to know I'm okay. It's just I got to take care of things. And at some point, that's why I got Tommy D with me from TD Sports Talk. Where do they reach you, my friend?
Well, you can reach me here on YouTube on TD Sports Talk, or you can catch me on the radio Sundays with Pedro Fernandez on Ring Talk Worldwide. You're catching the Sports Byline USA. I'm here with you every Thursday night. If I'm not hosting it for you, I'm here in some part behind the scenes helping you get through the show.
You are the extraordinaire. That's what you are. Have a good weekend.
Only on Thursdays. That's the
okay. And to all of you out there, get me on X, Ring786, Rich Mancuso, Facebook.com, Rich Mancuso. I'm also on Instagram. Read my content, Latinosports.com and elsewhere. And I want you to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Rich Mancuso. Please do that if you already haven't done so. And like the Keep It in the Ring page on Facebook as well. Also, String Punk Entertainment and the AGT Network and Tommy D's channels as well. So, as I always say, stay well, be good to each other, and God bless. And until next week, whether I'm here with Tom or not, or it's just Tom solo, and he better be nice to me if I'm not here.
You know, Robbie Rebel.
Tom?
Robbie Rebel will be here.
No,
if you're not.
They won't be nice. What do we say?
Keep it in the ring.
Keep it in the ring, everyone. Thank you for watching. Good night. Take care. We'll see you next week. Thank you.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.